All right, guys, I am not going to delay one bit. We will get to two major revelations. One is like, yeah, that's interesting. Though, given how powerful Magneto is, I would expect he could do that. So, the one revelation from Ian McKellen himself is that Magneto, in some kind of context, will destroy New Jersey. There you go. Magnus taking out the New Jersey Devils. But I think the other revelation is far more interesting and intriguing. So let me just set this up, and I'll give minor spoiler warning for Thunderbolts, although this has been out there for some time. So at the end of Thunderbolts, we see a spaceship, and there was a lot of speculation. The spaceship clearly is from the Fantastic Four. Now, again, another minor spoiler, although not really big one, is the Fantastic Four are from their own universe. So somehow the Fantastic Four were able to bridge interdimensional travel. Okay, Reed Richards is a genius, so okay, they could do that. But we didn't know for sure. But now there's really confirmation of two things. Yes, that is the Fantastic Four spaceship. It has them and two people, which I will now say drum roll. Again, this isn't really much of a spoiler, at least for the major story. But again, if you don't want any spoilers, last chance. It is. These two people are Doom and Captain America. There we go. Now, which versions of Captain America or Doom, we don't know, right? So probably this is the Doom from the Fantastic Four film, who was there literally for 1 second. All we saw was him in a hood reaching out to Franklin Richards. That's it. Nothing else. I mean, basically, Sue walked in and saw Doom. Yeah, looking at Franklin and kidnapping, looking at him, I don't know, examining. We didn't even see a face, nor really his armor. We just see him with a cape and a hood. And there you go. So apparently he got on a spaceship, and Reed Richards or Captain America was just hanging around and said, hey, can I join you guys? And there you go. So that is a spaceship at the end of Thunderbolts, and it has Doom and Captain America. Now, I want to acknowledge here John Campea. If you know my channel, I am not a big Campea guy. I think he's a fat snake. I think he's a moron. But he does get a couple scoops. He does know things, and apparently he knows the whole thing. He knows everything that will happen in Doomsday, but he's keeping his mouth shut. However, he had to confirm, he did corroborate, because it was out there all over the place, that this is true. To his knowledge, them being there is true. That does happen. However, he does not go further, like why they're there, how they're there, what is their purpose? Is Doom like a prisoner? Is he helping them out? Is he behind this? In other words, did he allow them to do interdimensional travel? Is that his ship? There's a lot of questions, right? Because also, for those who be a little confused, like Reed Richards and Doom in the comics have a bit of a rivalry because they're both big scientists. However, it's not very friendly. So you could definitely imagine Doom wanting to go further than Reed Richards, and maybe he mastered the way to do interdimensional travel. So there you go. So there's a lot of things to consider. And I've already reported on this, so I'm just going to repeat myself. But I think it's now confirmed that there are definitely going to be Doom variants. I can definitely state for a fact we're going to have the TVA, because there was a leak with a behind-the-scenes photo with the TVA. But it's like they changed it, the icon they used for the Loki show. It's slightly altered, but it is the TVA. So the TVA is going to be a major part of this movie. Again, that follows. They've done this with Deadpool and Wolverine. They've done this for Loki. So whether they like the TVA, don't like the TVA are going to be a massive part of this film. I would say I've been very skeptical of the Russos. However, I did like Deadpool and Wolverine. And Campea kind of let out something else, that like the 50 actors they've listed, right? The X-Men, Fantastic Four, the Black Panther cast, some of the Avengers, right? Chris Hemsworth. There are more people. There are some people they've not listed or confirmed. They will appear in Doomsday. Now, I'm going to push back a little bit because due to labor laws and regulations, my disappointing, right? Because I don't want to just do dumb clickbait. Because I'm hoping that the Phoenix will show up, right? The Jean Grey will show up. But the actress, Famke, has said, For the record, no, I'm not appearing. I don't want to do a cameo. However, Campea is allowing that there are going to be a lot of little cameos and appearances by people who you might not expect, whether it's ScarJo, Jeremy Renner, whoever, Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. All bets are off. More is coming. More is coming. So, okay, that's intriguing. So, really, we're going to have like 70 people in this movie. That's a lot. It's deeply ironic if you read Infinity War. This fits that story much more than this, but, you know, that's the way it is. So, what can we say about this? Well, my speculation for a long time is we're going to have two Avengers. The Doom Avengers, and for lack of a better word, the real Avengers. And this is going with my theory that Doom is not necessarily, he's not necessarily the villain. He may be the antagonist, he may be an opportunist, but I'm assuming there's going to be a cosmic crisis, whether the TVA caused it or the TVA is dealing with it, and Doom is going to offer them a solution, right? Because there's a big theory now, which is different, which is that Doom is trying to gather all these children, right? Thor's kid, the Captain America child, Franklin Richards for some ceremony, because now we know he's going to have witches. So he needs these kids or their power, or maybe they're just special in their timelines. He needs them. So he needs to grab them or utilize them in some way. I don't think it works with my theory, but maybe there's like a middle road, because if there are other Doom variants, as bizarre as it sounds, it could be Doom is going to offer them a deal where he's like, okay, you got to help me and I'll help you because we want the same thing. I don't want all these Doom variants because they're a threat and they're much more crazy than I am. So the Robert Downey we know, right, even though he's playing Doom, of course, he's not playing Tony Stark, is going to propose a truce or a bargain. You help me, I'll get rid of the Doom variants, but I'll get something in return, which is usually a lot of power, which will lead into Secret Wars. So that's where I'm guessing Famke probably will show up. Either her or Scarlet Witch or both of them, because this is going to take a lot of power, because the Secret Wars has the Beyonder. And the Beyonder is, yes, he's a cosmic being, but he's usually considered one of the biggest cosmic beings. So if they're going to follow the comic books even a little bit, right, if they go with the comic book even a little bit, they're going to need a lot of power. And granted, they've already hinted that Magneto is very powerful. He's going to be in this, right? He destroys New Jersey. They're going to have Sentry. That could be the tip of the iceberg. So we're going to have like literally the Cosmic Avenger. We're going to have the Dark Phoenix. We're going to have Sentry, Magneto, and all Scarlet Witch, right? Because they're related to one another. Just all these really powerful beings to sort of create the reason we have Secret Wars, right? Now, at the end of the day, is this going to work? Is it going to make sense? I mean, I would say this, that because they have so many cameos, like a lot of people criticize Deadpool Wolverine, that the story is just not that good. It is very thin. That's true, but I'd have to go with the fandom here that it was just fun. It was really fun and enjoyable to see Gambit, to see Blade, right, to see Elektra, to see those characters again, working with Deadpool and Wolverine. And the way it was done was pretty fun. So, we've been through this before. Like, we could guesswork before, oh, they're going to have the Fox characters, right? So, Steve Rogers will be the Human Torch, he won't be Captain America, so on and so forth. Here, though, they really have everything. They can use the Fox characters, and they can use the MCU characters, and maybe even other characters we've never seen before, or that were kind of utilized, but a little bit, that they're going to be brought back, right? So we can't really trust what the actors are saying, because it seems like Brie Larson will not be a part of this, which a lot of people are happy with, which doesn't make sense to me. She's too powerful. So even if you don't like, which I don't like her version of Captain America, but she should be here. But there you go. Maybe she will be there at the very end, right? So a lot of people we think will not be there probably will show up. They're just not saying it. Now, given, as I said, the way labor laws work in Hollywood, you can't really hide these people. You have to give them credit. So if they're going to be there, whether it's ScarJo, Scarlet Witch, all these people, they're only going to be there for a very small amount of time. So yes, some of these leaks are not true. Like, I'm not really believing the Tobey Maguire Wolverine one, but we'll look into that. But Campea is confirming there are going to be a lot more people than you expect. So make of that what you will. So we're going to do more theorizing and speculation. However, that's a fact, guys. We're going to see the ship with the Fantastic Four and Doom and Captain America. Are they forced to work together? Are they friends, allies? Don't know. I can't say anything more than that. But they're going to be on that ship. And we've definitely seen the Thing hook up with the Black Panther people. So it's like, But if Doom was with them, that suggests, at least for a part of the film, they will be working together. So maybe Magneto turns out to be the villain. But he seems really good when he's talking to Xavier in the trailer. So, yeah, some things are not fitting together, but we're going to have to wait and see.